I'm going to ask all of you to do something a little unconventional right now. Close your eyes, don't think about work at your to-do list or what you're making for dinner tonight. For this moment, I want you to be fully present now. Take 3 deep breaths with me. Do you feel that it's the calmness that washes over you? When you get still and go inward, that is the power of your mind, an infinite source of potential that most of us drastically underutilized. You see, we are not our bodies. We are so much more than these temporary vessels of flesh and bone. We are energy and consciousness intricately intertwined with the vast universe that surrounds us. And the mind is the gateway, the conductor, allowing energy to flow in order to create our reality. But we live in a society that is obsessed with the external world, a world that conditions us to believe our thoughts simply happen by rote. Without our control, as a result, we live in a state of unconscious overdrive, slave to whatever thoughts cross our mind. The truth is, you're not your thoughts, they are simply synapses firing in your brain based on memorized patterns from your past. And here's the real mind-blowing part. You can change those patterns, you can rewire your brain and effectively become a new person by disciplining your mind. I know this all sounds a bit out there. But I'm going to let you in on a secret that the transcendent masters have known for centuries. We are all energetic beings. And we all have the power to reshape the electromagnetic field that extends beyond our physical body through conscious intention. Still with me? Good. Because this is where it gets really mind-blowing. Neuroscientists have now proven through studies that active meditation and focused thought exercises can literally change the physical makeup of your brain. Certain antiquated neural pathways get pruned away. In essence, you are not stuck with the brain you inherited. You can sculpt a new one through sheer force of discipline, mind power. And this is just the start, because when you learn to master the infinite capabilities of your mind, you open up a gateway to profound healing, exponential happiness, and the ability to create your heart's wildest dreams into physical reality. All the great teach leaders, artists, and innovators who came before us understood this truth. They disciplined their minds through committed daily practice of entraining their brains to operate at a higher level of consciousness. Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership during the civil rights movement, that was mind power. The incredible body artistic works that flowed through Michelangelo during the Renaissance, mind power. Every inspired invention from the light bulb to the smartphone, all mind power brought into physical form through creative visualization. And now it's your turn to tap into this infinite universal source. When you discipline your mind, there's quite literally nothing you cannot accomplish. But I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, requires work, dedication, committed, unwavering discipline. And it's the most difficult undertaking you'll ever pursue, because you're not just changing your habits. You're going to battle against the protectors of your own mind. Your subconscious has become an invisible inner force working against you. It wants to keep you limited, stuck in the same antiquated loops based on your past experiences and environmental conditioning to exist change. Because change leads to uncertainty, which your primal brain sees as a threat to survival. The voices of doubt, fear, procrastination, and self-sabotage that so many of us battle every day, that's not the real you talking. That's your subconscious working to keep you bound to your past, to keep you small and playing it safe. It wants to convince you that you can't really change, that it's just too hard, that you should stay complacent and accept your current limits. But you know what? Complacency is a prison for the human soul. It robs you of your greatness, your passion, your joy deep down. You were born for more than just sleepwalking through life. You are a powerful and creative force of the universe with unbounded potential. So it's time to take a stand. It's time to look that inner resistance square in the eye and say, not today, subconscious, not anymore more. I am stronger than you, and I decide my own destiny from this point forward. Because when you make that choice, when you truly make the decision to become the master of your mind, rather than its victim, everything changes. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable become insignificant speeds, chains of limiting beliefs that kept you trapped get shattered into oblivion. You begin to operate not from fear and scarcity, but from a place of unshakable courage and possibility. Your mind becomes a finely tuned instrument for you to create whatever future you can conceive. Quite literally, the universe bends to your will in accordance with your vibration. Now, I can already hear the doubts and justification bubbling up in some of your minds. Yeah, but that's easy for someone like you to say, I don't have time to meditate for hours a day. The power of your mind revealed never empty my mind like that. I'm just not the woo-woo type. But let me stop you right there, because disciplining your mind has nothing to do with spending years in a monastery or burning sage and chanting kumbaya. The great news is that you don't need to fully silence your mind or reach some elevated state to start harnessing its power. You simply need to begin redirecting it like an experienced shepherd gently guiding a wandering flock. It can start with something as simple as choosing to pause and take a few conscious breaths anytime you feel your mind starting to follow a negative thought pattern. By disrupting that path, you chip away at its dominance over time. Or you can commit to a daily practice of visualizing your intended future reality for just 10-15 minutes, creating a detailed imprint on your mind's eye of what the achieved goal looks, sounds you, and feels like. This trains your brain to start automatically searching for opportunities to turn that vision into physical form reality. Once you get a taste for just how powerful and transformative these simple drills can be, it opens up a whole new dimension of potential. Imagine then moving to practices like reprogramming limiting beliefs by speaking mantras of empowerment and self-worth into a voice recorder, then replaying it as you fall asleep each night to override subconscious patterns, setting intentions imbued with powerful emotional energy before going into your daily meditation, creating an unshakable anchor for your desired reality to begin organizing around working through past emotional traumas by consciously revisiting them, offering self-compassion to your former self and reconstructing those memories from a new empowering perspective, expanding your mind into a state of transcendent oneness and presence by focusing on the silence between thoughts until your brain's typical neural cadence is disrupted. These are just a few of the specific techniques that allow you to take the profound philosophies of mind over matter and bring them into practical applied mastery, to stop just reading about the secret and start actively living it day by day. And the greatest up-leveling happens when you combine multiple modalities together into an unbreakable routine of disciplined mental rehearsing. Stack the deck in your favor by leaving no neural pathway untouched at that point. You essentially become an electromagnetic wizard. You send an unequivocal command from your conscious mind into the quantum field, telling it, this is the reality I choose to experience. And just like that, you set the entire universe into motion to reorganize itself around making your intention a physical reality. It's like metaphysics meets neuroscience to unleash your fullest human potential. Now, I don't know what you may be thinking. Sure, this all sounds great in theory, but can someone really change their entire life just through mind power? Answer is a resounding yes. I've not only witnessed thousands of individuals do this work and transform their lives in miraculous ways. I'm one of those people who disciplined their mind to achieve what most would call impossible. See, over 2 decades ago, I was a broke, aimless underachiever. I had dropped out of school, stuck in a dead-end job, and my whole future looked bleak. My self-worth was in the gutter, and I had just completely resigned myself to a life of mediocrity and disappointment. But then something clicked. I started devouring books on personal growth, neuroscience, quantum physics, anything I could find on understanding how my inner world aided my outer reality. And the more I learned, the more I realized that this mind over matter stuff was more than just spiritual hokum. This was real science showing that we truly are unlimited beings. So I decided I was going to prove it by making the biggest dream of my life come true. Despite having little money and zero formal education, I committed to disciplining my mind to visualize myself becoming a doctor of chiropractic medicine every morning and night without fail. I closed my eyes and watched a mental movie of myself graduating with my doctorate. I felt the energy of that achievement pulsing through every cell of my body. I told myself, this is not a wish, it's an intention seeded with unwavering faith. On the outside, nothing seemed to change at first. Same crummy job. It's same hand-to-mouth existence, but internally my consciousness expanded with the feeling of having already crossed the finish line. I adopted the thoughts, beliefs, and emotional states of my future realized self, and then the universe started to reorganize around that vibration I had locked into out of nowhere chance. Encounters and serendipitous opportunities allowed me to get my undergrad degree. Then came a surprise way to get accepted and pay for chiropractic school. Every roadblock that my mind would have seen as insurmountable in the past instead became exciting challenges for me to flex my focus muscle. Even harder if this is really possible, I told myself. Then my point of power is being here now, long story short, against all odds and reason, I did end up achieving my impossible dream. Walking across that stage in my doctoral cap and gown, I had become living proof of just how powerful the mind is when you harness it with overcoming societal conditioning focused intent. So why am I sharing this personal story? Because I want you to know that if I can do it, you can too. We all face struggles and setbacks. We all have ingrained habits and self-limiting beliefs working against. But when you decide to truly discipline your mind, you become unstoppable. Maybe your 10 full-time dreams, finally leaving that soul-sucking job to start your own business. Maybe it's losing that weight and getting your health back for good. Maybe it's saving a relationship on the brink of collapse by reopening true lines of vulnerability. Or maybe your dream is even bigger, solving one of humanity's grandest challenges through an innovative breakthrough, or sparking the socio-political revolution of ideas that uplifts all society. Whatever it is, I promise you have the power. To make it happen, all you need is the discipline to get your mind on board as your unwavering partner in co-creation. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this journey of mental mastery is one of the hardest things you'll ever undertake. Your mind will resist change like a petulant child. Fighting their bedtime, it will come up with every excuse, every distraction, every sense of doubt to try and knock you off. Of course, because, let's face it, familiarity is comfortable. Even if it's keeping you stuck in mediocrity, change requires sustained effort and delayed gratification, which our primal brains are wired to avoid at all costs, but you can no longer afford to stay complacent in that perpetual state of inertia. Not when you now know the truth that you are an infinite. It's vibrational being with the power to reshape reality at a subatomic level. Succumbing to that lower mind's resistance is like being handed the keys to a Lamborghini and insisting on keeping your beat-up old sedan instead. So those voices of doubt inevitably pipe up. You need to stand firm in your resolve, visualize them as the scattered echoes of a reality. You've already transcended beyond external forces with no more weight than a speck of cosmic dust. Let them dissipate back into the nothingness from which they came. While you stay focused on the vision, you're rendering from soul into material form, because when you get adept at flexing this mental strength, your entire life becomes a meditation, and manifesting, you start to navigate every experience, even the most mundane tasks, from the highest vantage point of creative intentionality, making your morning coffee switches, from just another routine to a ritual of setting your energetic vibration for the day that challenging work meeting gets reimagined as an embodied rehearsal. For your mindset, as the leader you're becoming, even simple acts, like tying your shoes, can be used as practice for bringing your lofty dreams into concrete step-by-step reality. You begin to see the entire universe not as this cold, empty void, but as an infinite field of unmanifest potential. You as its sole creator through focused will and perception that Elric come. You feel coursing through every particle of matter in space that's pure consciousness, the divine intelligence from which all reality arises, and residing at the core of your being is the same sovereign power source of that. Consciousness, a microcosm of infinite possibility that you can attune and align with to manifest absolutely anything your heart most deeply desires. It's not just spiritual sages who have tapped into this superpower. Many of history's greatest creative geniuses mastered this ability as well. In fact, some of their most prolific works were generated not through toil and perspiration, but through opening a conduit for the universe's creative flow to pour through them in divine inspiration. Nyates said his insights into electromagnetism came through intuitive flashes and visions transmitted to him from the cosmic ether. Einstein described his theory of relativity, not his individual effort, but as being the receiver for ideas that have we and rose in a singular fertile mind here and there. In the great void, Andrew W. spent 7 years obsessively trying to prove Fermat's last theorem through brute effort alone until he finally surrendered his attachment to conventional thinking and allow the solution to arrive through intuition during a moment of stillness. These great luminaries understood a profound truth that true genius and innovation arises not through individual striving, but through dissolving one's personal boundaries with the infinite honest of creative source energy. Yes, their works required discipline, action, and steadfast devotion, but that unwavering grit was a means of staying spiritually aligned in order to receive the divine transmission flashes of brilliance that arise when you let go practical steps for mind discipline and allow the awesome power of disciplined mind into embodied fruition. So I have a question for you into this world. Through you, what inspired vision, liberating idea, or heartfelt offering are you here to midwife into reality through your journey of personal mastery? I assure you the universe is quite literally leaning and waiting for your response. It has infinite abundance, vibrant possibility, and limitless love, and coded into every fiber of its being, and it's all just waiting for you to tune your consciousness to its highest frequencies in order to bring those sublime forces into manifestation. But you can expect to make contact with such vast magnitudes of creative potential while still operating from a place of fear, lack, and separation. Those densities of lowered vibration will only continue attracting experiences that reflect those limiting thought patterns back to you. To step into your fullest powers and discipline, massive minds, you must be willing to slow off the outdated mental constructs and judgments that kept you bound to the illusions of finitude. You must choose to shed the tattered identity. Scripts that held you trapped in replaying the same cycles of unfulfillment over and again, like wiggling out of a self-imposed cocoon, you must determinedly extricate yourself from the trance of mass hypnosis that convinces humans to remain solitary droplets when they were born to be oceans, to stop spellbinding yourself into the amnesia, forgetting your sovereign divinity. It takes tremendous courage and resilience of spirit to truly awaken in this way, to pry open the gates of perception that the mundane, materialistic world has worked so tirelessly to keep clamped shut. The human ego, with all its arrogance and attachment, simply cannot be allowed to hold dominion any longer over the infinite radiance that is your true essence. So you must be willing to sacrifice your learned identities, your petty prejudices, your scarcity fears, all upon the altars of consciousness, rebirth, to shed those antiquated mindsets like releasing so much dead weight, so that you may rise with the unburdened levity of a transfigured being. This is the hero's jura that separates the ordinary from the transcendent. Those who succumb to the gravity of their limiting beliefs stay earthbound in constrictive reality, while the ones who expand their minds into the bluest of ethereal skies get to experience the sacred geometries of creation's grandest intelligence is at play. They start to commune in wordless resonance with all that is not just glimpsing subject. One is isolated observers, but experiencing the cosmos as a co-creator fully immersed within the dynamic flows of eternal Genesis, and an indescribable synaptic dance union with all space, all time, all energy, all mind coalescing into one pulsating superfield of love intelligence. From the spacious vantage point, all semblance of limitation and separation dissolves into the magnificent embrace of interwoven oneness. Your physical body still remains, but now what's realized as a sentient uplink conduit for downloading vast morphogenic packets of information into your cellular consciousness begin vibrating at such an amplified rate that your perception becomes ultra-sensitive, able to receive the living codes and archetypal idea streams that underlay all manifest creation. As it bursts forth from the void's fertile potentiality at last, you have achieved coherence as a finely tuned receiver for directly downloading the divine mind's boundless intelligence into your being. No longer must you strive and toil, but only stay present and align through discipline and intentionality, so that inspiration may freely course through you. And let this be your greatest reassurance, is that in surrendering fully into this state of profound allowance, you have actually arrived at the pinnacle of your powers of conscious co-creation. For you have merged your individual UL mind back into the primordial source from which all creative forces flow. So go forth from this point, devotees of disciplined, mindful mastery. Let this fire for awakening your full human potential be forever stoked within your spirit. Keep strengthening your focus, your intentionality, your capacity for sustained presence each and every day, for when you make the committed choice to tend the infinite garden of your mind, cultivating its soil with discipline. Shared attention, you will reap a harvest of magic beyond your current apprehension. No longer will you experience life as a random series of events happening at you. Rather, you'll start recognizing the intelligent orchestration and purposeful unfolding that arises when you align yourself as a conscious co-creator. In this universe, coincidences and serendipities will shed their cloaks of camouflage to reveal the brilliant synchronized choreography at play. You'll see how one moment flows seamlessly into the next in a divinely integrative dance. When you participate with focused and intentionality, the very air around you will start shimmering with palpable aliveness as you tune your perceptual awareness to the subliminal fields that underlie all physical reality, pattern signs, and symbolic trails. Breadcrumbs will seem to wink at you from every angle, spiritual gestures, guiding you ever deeper into the labyrinth of cosmological revelation. So you have real-life success stories of mind power crack the code to becoming a conscious architect of your reality, no longer at the mercy of conditioned patterns and subconscious programs running your life on default to pilot mode. No, wield the power of the quantum mindscape like an adept builder following the blueprint stages of universal construction. With focus and discipline, you emit instructive energy that literally bends the matrix of space-time to your coherent vibration. You become the tree of life sprouting entire domains of existence from the seed of your intention, thoughts, and beliefs. Realms materialize into being through the consecrated workings of your mind's unleashed creative force. So can you sense the profound opportunity before you, the staggering responsibility and empowerment you now wield as a metaphysical co-creator of realms? This is no longer just some theoretical mind game or mental masturbation. Oh no, my friends, you are playing for keeps now, for stepping into ownership of your unlimited mind power means being wholly accountable for every intention you emit in reality. You choose to construct from this moment forward. We use this power to bask in inertia stubbornly, recreating the same self-limiting patterns and unrealized dreams. Or do you have the grit and fortitude to burn those outdated blueprints to ashes more profoundly? You have the insight and moral fiber to avoid the temptations of using your mind abilities for selfish egoic pursuits. For with great power comes an even greater onus of responsibility, not to abuse it for harm or unjust means the human race's evolution now hinges on awake souls like yourself making that critical choice to not stay shrouded in oblivion, numbed out in endless cycles of materialistic consumption and self-absorption, but rather to rouse from that calm slumber and tend to this supreme flame of mindful manifestation that flickers so delicately in an age of encroaching darkness. For only when enough conscious beacons dispel the murky astigmatisms, including humanity's vision, will the scales fall from our collective eyes to see the brilliant cosmic blueprint has been here encoded in our symbolic subliminal fields all along. So I leave you not with a dream or some far-flung fantasy that you cannot obtain, but with the keys to accessing your own inner kingdom, that infinite expanse of creative power that is your birthright. Stay steadfast and unwavering in your commitment to use your mind's discipline focus to sculpt yourself into an energetic resonance of your highest, grandest ideals. Let every choice, every habit, every focused thought vibrate at the leading edge of the future. Reel it? You wish to give birth into this world, for when you lock into that harmonious frequency through applied discipline, you become an immovable anchor point that starts warping the entire matrix of this universe around your coherent energy pattern and uplifting force of nature, catalyzing a mass shift in the collective consciousness towards unveiled uplifting force of nature, catalyzing a mass shift in the collective consciousness towards unveiled truths and liberated potentials for all humanity. Yes, this great awakening begins with you as the individual spark. But do not think for a moment that your personal efforts towards discipline, mindfulness exist in a vacuous vacuum disconnected from the greater whole. No, you are but one cosmic dancer in an intricately choreographed ballet that spans all dimensions, and reality is a single luminous thread woven into the vivid tapestry of souls. all committing in unity to elevate this planet's resonance, for you are not alone in the journey, dear warriors of light. All across the global multiverse, there are countless others just like you making the solemn vow to follow the path of freed minds and open hearts, touch bears igniting the darkness through their disciplined, focused dream weavers, spinning new mythologies to rain's wonder and re-enchant a world-grown cynical ceremonialist invoking the descent of spirit into form through sacred rituals. Of intent, some work their mindful alchemy through words and music, you using finely tuned vibrations of creative expression to recode societal how to start making changes today. Softwares others through ethereal visionary arts that give celestial intelligence as a symbolic toehold into our reality. And there are the bows of direct action, those who forgo the temptations of metaphysical escape to instead confront the shadows of our collective human condition, head and shining their light into the cracks of systemic injustice, listening deeply to the groans of an earth forced into exploitation and pollution. No effort is too small in this unified movement for the molecular. Work or be committed to conscious presence in their daily routines, contributes just as pivotally as the grand revolutionaries exploding outmoded paradigms. We're all pushing towards the same cosmic inhale, that indrawn breath, which will birth a new state of planetary culture, one no longer lulled into somnambulism by the forces of greed, deception, and control, but a fully awakened ecosystem of souls. In harmonious our collective intelligences operating in fluid synchrony with each other and the greater laws of the universe. So you must never lose sight of the bigger picture, helping to co-create for the mindful choices, intentions, and frequencies you embody each day exert a ripple effect far beyond what your finite human perceptions can glimpse view from wide angle. Your disciplined mastery of conscious manifestation is adding to a unified force field of high vibe energy, uplifting the planet your labors of love. No matter how humble or tilling the soil for a new renaissance of creativity, truth, and unbridled possibility to blossom on earth, with every outrush of awakened breath, the roots of this movement will continue spreading exponentially until a critical mass is achieved at ecstatic alchemical grail tipping point, where reality as we've known it cracks wide open into novel domains of actualization. Let make no mistake, you are active participants and instigators in birdings. Plan or shift your daily commitments to mindful presence are crucial reinforcements, strengthening the morphic grid for the coming new earth, that it will require your absolute grit and unwavering discipline to maintain the high road when the chaos and friction of current paradigms flailing to preserve themselves hits a fever pitch. There will be times when the intensity of this transition pushes you to your spiritual brain, when the gravitational pull of fear, doubt, and inertia will seek to sap every last remnant of your strength. And newfound mastery, it will aim to drag you back down into limited consciousness through the portrayal of apocalyptic future scenarios, to paralyze your focus, to shatter your coherent vision with amnesia, plagues of societal panic, scarcity, mind virus, and overwhelming this is when you must lock into the laser beam of your highest principles, like an inviolable force field, fall radically back into the present moment awareness that cuts through the deceptions and reminds you of your true sovereign power. If you are no longer just shaped by the emerging future, you are the emergence through your disciplined focalization of consciousness itself. So let this be your supreme clarion call to unwavering mindfulness. Come what may, to stay rooted as the eye of storm intensity squirrels around you, secure in the knowledge that you are an infinite up spiraling vortex of creative becoming. Trust that your daily commitments to mental self-mastery, intentional presence, and inspired right action are progressively encoding an unshakable new harmonic into the planetary field, one breath. One focused thought, one deed at a time, you are repatterning the amorphic resonance strong enough to shatter the mythic layers of our limiting past and architect a world of thriving cosmic coherence. The path will not always be easy. The forces vested in keeping the old narratives alive will expand every last effort to preserve their monopoly. But do not be deterred, for you are the fierce beat of an evolutionary renaissance, catalyzing a transition towards what awaits to be birthed through our focused discipline, striving the full blossoming of humanity's unlimited creative potential. So go forth. As the consciousness pioneers and metaphysical revolutionaries, you were born to become, stay strong, stay focused, stay disciplined in your commitment to unlock the supreme authority within you. For through this path of awakened mastery, you will recode the cosmic instructions that catalyze our collective transfiguration into a universe of breathtaking new possibility